Hey everybody, this is Silversonic bringing you a battle against koolaid493 from the Maryland forums. Let's see, he's going to lead with the Hitmonlee and I lead with my Smeargle. He starts with Fake Out, which is really annoying because that's one of the few things that can stop this Smeargle from working and setting up stealth rocks and stuff. So I switch into my Hippowdon to take whatever he wants to throw at me, and he Mach Punches, which Hippowdon takes very well. And he gets his leftovers and stuff. Now he switches into a Wish Cache here, right? And since I wanted to scout his team more, I just roared him out, and it looks like I get a Staraptor, which is pretty good for me because it's not going to be able to do too much to a Hippowdon, and I'll be able to do some things that I want to do. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he U-turns and does pretty, not very particularly good damage. Brings in this Wish Cache again, which kind of leads me to think that that's his best Hippowdon counter, which if it is, that's bad for him. And yeah, so he brings in his Wish Cache, and I Toxic it, which is going to be very important. Now he D-dances here. Now at this point I can kind of figure out most of his set. I thought he was just going to straight up Waterfall me, so I slacked off here just to be safe, although frankly the extra health couldn't hurt either in case he decides to attack me next turn. Now, I don't want it to sit around here with a bunch of Dragon Dances, so I'm going to roar it out now. Interestingly enough, though, he decides to Dragon Dance again instead of trying to just Waterfall me there. Not what I would have done, but hey, we all make weird predictions sometimes. So I roar him out, get rid of his D-Dances, I bring in his Hitmonlee. No new knowledge for me. But he switches in his Clefable now, which is immune to Toxic, essentially, because it won't take damage due to its Magic Coat. In the meantime, however, it sets up Reflect, and I roared out again. Interestingly enough, back into Wish Cache. Let's see if he plays it any differently this time around. Looks like he's just going to straight up attack this time. If he wants to play this game, that's fine with me, because I'll be able to take pretty good damage from his Waterfall, like you just saw, and then I'll be able to outstall him due to Toxic damage. Normally, he would have an upper hand in this Stall War, and eventually I would either run out of Slack-Offs or just gradually lose HP and eventually die, but due to his Toxic Poison, he will be dead long before that happens. And as long as he doesn't get 2 flinches in a row, which he didn't, I'll be fine. So I slack off back to good HP. Now I can take a flinch again. I'm pretty sure that here, even though the damage would be minimal due to the Reflect and Hippowdon's kind of not so great attack, at least mine doesn't have very great attack, the Earthquake won't do much, but it's better than nothing since he's pretty much going to stay in at this point as far as I can tell. So I do the EQ, doesn't do very much as you can see, but every little bit of damage helps. We see Leftovers and we see Toxic. So yeah, this little Stall War is kind of going to continue, and eventually I'm going to come out on top because he's going to die of Toxic Poison. Now at this point I kind of hope he doesn't die. His Wish Cache, I kind of hope the Wish Cache doesn't die, so I'll be able to slack off again next turn and have even more health to face in whatever you want to bring in next. So let's see if it happens. Probably won't, though. And yeah, cool. That is how it turned out, isn't it? So, here comes a Waterfall. And, yeah, without a flinch, that'd be nice. I slack off again, get more health, and now he's going to bite the dust from Toxic damage. Doo-doo-doom, doom, doom. Yes, that was a song reference. At any rate, more Leftovers, and he brings in Staraptor. Now at this point, I assume he wants to U-turn into what he actually wants to switch into, but he doesn't. He actually just goes for the close combat. I was actually worried it had Guts for a second for some reason, but then I remembered, oh wait, it has Intimidate. At any rate, though, I didn't Toxic it, so I roar out into this thing, and it turns out to be a Raikou, which is kind of bad for Hippowdon, because it will probably pack HP Ice. I was worried about him substituting here, so I decided to go for the Roar in case of a substitute, and yeah, that didn't turn out so well for me. Luckily, though, since Hippowdon is just so beastly, it survives the HP Ice or Grass. I don't think I ever actually figured out what it was. It survives the hidden power from Raikou, like the boss that it is. However, it's not going to get much more done in this battle after doing what it did, so I let it die and bring out my Smeargle. Now, usually at this point, if he doesn't get his lead work off, he's dead, but in this battle, he actually plays a really big role later on, as you guys are going to see in a in the next few minutes. So he Thunder Waves, which is sort of irrelevant as at this point, since he doesn't really need to speed much anymore anyway. Now he brings out his Claydol, obviously, to Rapid Spin, and I get up what I believe is my second layer of spikes, along with my Stealth Rock at the end of that episode. Now this guy is going to be good for one more thing at the end of the battle, but you'll have to see what that is. So I bring in my Scarf Gengar to block the Rapid Spin, because that's what he's supposed to do, and to scare it out. Now I was really tempted to Focus Blast there, but I figured I just couldn't, and yeah, he did have 2 normals on his team. I guess it was kind of a bad prediction, but I didn't think I could afford staying in, Focus Blasting his Claydol, not killing it, and letting him dispatch my Rapid Spinner. So yeah, that would have been bad if it had happened, but like, hey, stuff happens. So I bring in my Tentacruel against this Clefable. He brings in his Claydol again, presumably to Rapid Spin again, and I surf this Claydol. Now, I was kind of disappointed about this happening at this point, actually, but like, this surf is what's going to make or break the game for me later on. You guys will see that come back into play in a little while. So now he withdraws again and brings out his Raikou, who really doesn't scare me that much. It shouldn't kill in one hit, even with its Thunderbolt. And yeah, so I just decide to stay in and surf it, knowing that I'm going to be relatively safe. This being said, however, I don't really want to stay in and fight it, but at the same time, I don't have a lot that can, pretty much anything actually, that can take a Thunderbolt and outrun Raikou. So at this point, I just decide to stay in and surf, which unfortunately does not take it out, and the Sandstorm damage won't take it out either due to its leftovers neutralizing it. So like, that's kind of bad. So at this point, I was really thinking about what to do, but I didn't particularly have a switch in that I wanted to switch into, and I needed the free switch. So I'm going to let my Tentacruel die after, again, being a huge help like my Hippowdon. And yeah, I decided to bring this guy in. Now this Focus Blast hit was, like, if that had missed, it could easily have been game over. I was worried. I just didn't think he'd bring Claydol in. That'd just be kind of silly to switch Claydol into its counter, so I just Focus Blasted, seeing if I could catch Clefable. Now at this point, I'm like, okay, I'll Focus Blast it, but this thing has Sucker Punch. I really didn't even know it got Sucker Punch, although I quickly found out that it did after a quick check on Cerebi. So like, yeah, that really sucked. Now he Bullet Punches here. Not quite sure why, although I was really scared he would have Stone Edge, so that's the reason why I went for the Dragon Claw as opposed to Dragon Dancing. Dragon Dancing would have made the battle a lot easier, to tell you the truth, but hey, we all do stuff like that, right? You know? Okay, my Rock Slide misses here, and like, that is lame. Like, that just really made this a lot more complicated than it had to be. So that being said, he gets his Brave Bird off, and like, and yeah, be brave, Staraptor. So at this point, I just need this guy to get off more recoil and Sandstorm damage on him. Van Gogh, that is, to get more recoil damage on the Staraptor, which he does, and I bring my Lucario in. Now that was pretty stupid on my part, going for the Ice Punch as opposed to Extreme Speed, which would be safer. No, I'm not quite sure why I did it, but it turns out that it was fine anyway, since my Lucario is Jolly and his Staraptor is Adamant, and with my Lucario's IVs, it will still outrun Adamant base 100s by a point. Yay! So like, I Ice Punch the Claydol, gets a crit. It sucks if that would have mattered for him, but I don't think it did. And I close combat his Clefable for the win. Yeah, this guy's a really good battler. He actually does UU battles also, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So you should check out his channel, and in general, comment, rate, subscribe, peace. Yeah.